Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Thursday, August 4th, 2017. Fire potential impacts will be increasing over the next few days and into the weekend, starting today with some very hot temperatures continuing over western Nevada and some wind over portions of southern Idaho. Those winds will continue into tomorrow, but we'll begin to see an increase in thunderstorm activity, especially over central Nevada and even pushing into west central Utah. That thunderstorm coverage will expand on Saturday, and we'll be looking for new initial attack in these areas, as many of these areas have been under very hot and dry conditions for the past 4 to 5 days. Yesterday was a generally sunny day across much of the northern portions of the Great Basin, with a few isolated thunderstorms over the southern third of the area. There are no Type 1 or 2 team fires in place across the Great Basin right now, with some larger fires over the northern half of the area. The past 7 days have been generally dry across much of the Great Basin, especially the far western areas, with a few pockets of precipitation over the south and east. The past 14 days, we did see a pretty good wet system move through the southern half of the area. They continue to show that decrease in overall large fire potential. Current 10-hour fuel moistures are still quite low across much of the Great Basin, with the lowest values observed over northwest Nevada. Live fuel moisture observations for southwest Idaho and northern Nevada are shown here, with both those areas approaching normal for the time of year. This morning's satellite imagery shows a strong area of high pressure in place across the western U.S. This is what's driving those very hot record temperatures over western Nevada. We're also seeing this area of low pressure off the California coast that will bring moisture into the Great Basin and kick off some of those dry thunderstorms initially into the weekend that will transition to more wet thunderstorms for the first part of next week. High-risk triggers have been issued today for those hot temperatures in western Nevada and a pretty unstable air mass there as well. The upper air image shows some of that moisture beginning to move into portions of Southern California and the southern Great Basin, and over the next few days we'll see that moisture move further northward into northern Nevada. Maximum temperatures for this afternoon will peak the low 100s over western Nevada, with a few areas possibly 110, 111. Expected coverage for the thunderstorms this afternoon is shown on the right, with many of the thunderstorms limited to the southern half of the Great Basin. We will possibly see an increase in central Nevada. By tomorrow, more moisture looks to sneak into western Nevada as that area of low pressure draws further northward and closer to the California coast. Fire-causing lightning is also expected in northern California and southern Oregon. Winds will pick up just a bit tomorrow as well, especially over southern Idaho and the higher elevations of eastern Utah. Outflow winds will also be gusty near any thunderstorms that do form, especially off the higher elevations of the Sierra Nevadas. On Saturday, that area of low pressure brings a pretty good little moisture surge up into Nevada. This will kick off an increase in thunderstorm coverage, and given the fuel loading and the recent hot and dry weather, we're expecting initial attack to continue, and the chance for new large fires is increasing during that time period. Many of our neighbors are also expecting an increase in new initial attack. Winds will lighten up somewhat on Saturday across much of the area, except of course near those thunderstorms where gusty outflow winds are always expected. The 3-day precipitation accumulations show the best chance for precipitation coming to portions of the central Great Basin and then up into western Nevada. On Sunday, that moisture continues to be a big player in moving further eastward and northward into the central Great Basin. We expect to see some of these dry thunderstorms move into northwest Utah during this time frame, and far northeast Nevada as well. By Monday, the moisture surges further northward into Idaho, where we'll see an increased chance for thunderstorms up there, and certainly expect new initial attack out of some of those storms. By Tuesday, the moisture moves a little bit further eastward for showers possible over eastern Idaho and western Wyoming, with a decrease in thunderstorm activity possibly elsewhere in the Great Basin. On Wednesday, it looks like some moisture returns once again to the Great Basin, and we could definitely see thunderstorms continuing during this time frame. We'll also be looking for that broad area of low pressure off the southern Canadian coast that may begin to influence the weather across the western U.S. 7-day precip totals are shown here with a pretty good increase in precipitation across the southern half of the Great Basin, particularly the mountains of Utah, the Sierra Front, and central Nevada, as well as western Wyoming. Western Idaho and far northern Nevada look to remain on the dry side through the period. The extended outlook going into the second week of August is calling for continued above normal temperatures along the western half of the Great Basin, with above normal precipitation chances over the Pacific Northwest and northern Nevada, with below normal chances across the south. This concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.